would go this far. But thank God we got the freedoms over here. But, remember the Terry Schindler-Schiavo thing? That came down to just remember this, the Schiavo deal had to do with having a will, a living will. And you got to have one, because if something happens to you and you don't have a living will, anybody could say anything crazy just about. It could be a loony husband, loony wife, whatever, and say crazy stuff. Oh, he said he wanted to be cremated and he wanted to be, thrown off this mountain or thrown into this river or this ravine or into this well or whatever. Just, or he promised me the house. If it's in writing with the signature, there's no doubt about it. So take care of that sooner rather than later. And none of us know what date is going to be on our grave. So make sure you have a living will on this. But this is a story that we've been following, story that I'm very passionate about, and we're waiting to see what the judge is going to do next. But basically, that's what he's saying to the family right now. Give us some powerful evidence. But it's interesting how he used it, new and powerful evidence, demonstrating that their son should be kept alive. I mean, just the words there, should be kept alive. Demonstrate why your kid should be kept alive to receive the experimental treatment. It's their child. For heaven's sakes, it's their kid. Life, for some, doesn't mean much. It's very unfortunate where a life doesn't mean much because a person might seem to be lesser than. Some parents, if they were given the option where, well, if I knew that my child would be missing limb or a finger or two, I wouldn't have the kid. I'd abort it. There are some parents have said this. I've seen it on daytime TV, just scrolling around, and you'll hear the craziest things. Oh, yeah, if I knew that they were going to have this disease or that they were going to be blind, I would just, do the kid a favor and us a favor and just abort the child. And I've said this before, and I know this is, some people might say it's out there, but I don't think so. The amount of children, that have been aborted because of inconvenience, because it would inconvenience them. Can you imagine how many kids may have had the knowledge one day to be able to cure cancer? To cure heart disease once and for all, or Parkinson's disease, or just fibromyalgia, or just whatever. To me, life's precious. I come from an evangelical family, from being a Methodist. I've attended Baptist churches, but I'm not one of these crazy, thunk you over the head with the Bible, but, I believe that there's a purpose to all of our lives, every single one of us. And to me, certainly for the parents, to want to do whatever they can. And they've raised plenty of money to be able to care for the child, to get the child the care. There's hospitals willing to take them in, willing to do it. So it's not a money issue. It's not going to be a burden on them, on their country. But they're worried of what this is going to do on their courts. Forget about the life and forget about the feelings of the heart of the parents that are just crying, devastated. Because they can't move their child to be able to get proper care for them. This is going to be agonizing. And I'll tell you, if you're a parent and your kid has got a fever, your kid's sick, that's crazy. Some of you stay home. Oh, you're not feeling good. I'll just take off the day because you hate to see your kid sick. This kid's on a ventilator. 11 months old, fighting for his life. He's got a rare genetic deal going on. I guess he can't hear, can't see. But this genetic thing that he's got, apparently there's doctors that are familiar with it and have had success with it. So it's a no-brainer for the parents. No-brainer, but for the High Court in London, they're just looking for more evidence. So hopefully they can convince the Judge Francis, to be able to rule in the favor of Charlie's parents, so they can go ahead and try this experimental treatment. But we're praying for the parents right now of this family. It's just going through this ordeal in London right now. But it does bring up, the whole Shivo thing. People are talking about it all over the place. We're not saying Great Ormond Street is a bad hospital, but they don't have specialists for his particular condition, Yates told Sky News. We don't see what's dignified about him dying. We think it's dignified that he has a chance of life, and if it doesn't work, then we'll let him go. And that's reported by the Associated Press. They're lying to you, Yates added, addressing the judge. Those claims prompted Chris Gard to interrupt proceedings and yell at one of the hospital's lawyers, "When are you going to start telling the truth?" They're lying to you. So this is very passionate. And obviously, if you're the parents, you wouldn't be anything less. This is one of these life issues. And again, people are on different sides of the fence of this whole thing. To me, it's a common sense deal. It's your child, the parent's child. They should have the right to be able to make that decision. Again, they've raised over $1 million to be able to transport the kids. There's doctors willing to do this at their expense to help the family get this kid better. Well, we're hoping that whatever powerful evidence that this judge is looking for, that with the doctors and with the lawyers that they have, they're going to be able to appease this judge over here, and it'll be interesting to see how this rolls out here. David Letterman, were you a big fan? Did he watch his show when he did the broadcast on CBS? He's got a really funky beard going on. Okay, I'm not down on the beard. I didn't grow a summer stash. I've never grown one, and I can grow one. I honestly can. It doesn't look good on me. But former late night television show host David Letterman says that people need to stop whining. Well, that sounds good. And I thought to myself, why? Finally he's going to speak up. Okay, because I thought he didn't like President Trump. Well, he still doesn't. He was speaking in an interview Monday with Associated Press. Letterman was saying that he's tired of people daily, nightly on all the cable news telling us there's something wrong going on. So Letterman has the answers. He says, I just think we ought to direct our resources and our energies in doing something about it. If the guy Trump was running Dairy Queen, he'd be gone, Letterman said. This guy couldn't work at the Gap, so why do we have to be victimized by his feckleness, his ignorance? Trump's behavior, the former television host said, is insulting to the country. Oh, yeah. Insulting to America. He said, whether you voted for him or not, and I feel bad for people who did vote for him. Oh, please don't feel bad for me, David. Please don't. Because he promised them things that they really need, and one wonders if they'll really go and do them. Letterman continued, I know there's trouble in this country, and we need a guy who can fix the trouble. I wish it was Trump, but it's not. So let's just stop whining about it, and what a goon he is, and figure out a way to take him aside and put him in a home. Let's put him in a home, an old folks' home, no, a sane asylum or something like that. This guy is, wacko. He's not fit. That's what the Dems are going for, that the guy's not mentally fit. You know what, David? You are absolutely correct. Because the left media, CBS, ABC, NBC, CNN, the failing news network, FNN, never tells you good stuff. They always tell you the bad stuff and always make up stuff, again, to make people insane and upset and not liking the president, instead of the accomplishments of the things that he's already done. And he's done a lot for this country already, for infrastructure, for our economy, for our military, for our borders, for our veterans. He's helped us immeasurably so far. And he's just getting started. They can't praise him on these things. They won't mention these things. No, these things get buried. They want to tell him about the successes he's had and the effect that he's had on Wall Street. The biggest gains, the biggest numbers. Increase of business, unemployment down. Things are getting better. People are getting the attention that they need. We have a leader in the White House pointing out things that are just not there. They can't draw any dots of collusion from Russia because that's the only explanation, still the only explanation in their minds at least, of how Donald Trump ever appeared in there, because he must have had some good Russian help to get him in there. They must have had complete control of all the ballot boxes and all the people that voted in America. It must have just been that. But that's been ruled out. So what else do they have? It's this, again, attack on Donald Trump's mental stability, his mental aptitude. I haven't met very many billionaires in my time. But I don't really feel that somebody becomes a billionaire from having no brains and no abilities. Donald Trump is a very, very talented negotiator and businessman. He's made deals and good deals. Some deals worked. Trump Airlines failed. Some businesses failed. Some made it. The man kept on trying, kept on fighting. The Taj Mahal, by the way, just closed down. Great casino. If you enjoy just checking out casinos, that stuff is getting auctioned off or sold off to other businesses. What's going to go there? Have you ever been to Atlantic City? Oh, man. I love the boardwalk. Love Atlantic City. But that was the casino of casinos, the Taj Mahal. I know I'm getting off in a rant here, but it was a great place. The Hard Rock, the Hard Rock, I think the Indians are buying it. The Seminole Indians own the Hard Rock name now and the brand. So the Hard Rock's going in there and taking it over. It's going to be a hotel. And the Hard Rock brand and everything like that is supposed to be off the chain and should be open later next year. But anyway, that went bankrupt. But look at Atlantic City. It's deplorable. It's horrible. Things are just so run down. It was the same way back in the 80s and 90s. The casinos were the only shiny thing around. The neighborhoods were just awful. I don't know what it looks like. I haven't been, back to Atlantic City in over a decade. But the Jersey Shore was absolutely beautiful. Love it. I live here in Florida now, and we got some really nice beaches around here. But anyways, lay it off. Come on. He feels important. And we have always known where David Letterman stands. He's with all of the leftists out in California, believing that very, very same thing. And they know. People say, are they just buying it hook, line, and sinker? They think that Donald Trump is really, honest to goodness, destroying the country. I mean, Barack Obama did a great job destroying the country, actually. We're trying to do repair work here. We're trying to fix the country, changing trajectory, but it's an completely opposing reality. They live in their own bubble of Hollywood, and they see the world in a completely different way. Completely. It's an alternate universe for them. Seriously, that's why they're in entertainment. And that's why them giving advice to the president, for any president, is just absolutely ridiculous. But a lot of them, they put their money on them so they can get their way, and they can hoik whatever garbage comes out of their mouth and hope somebody doesn't lock them up for it. But a lot of this stuff is just, to me, treasonous. And back in the day, they'd throw you in the Hague so quick it wouldn't be funny for what people say and get away with. I mean, Madonna, I can't believe she's able to still sing after saying that, I thought about blowing up the White House. Really? Wow. Secret Service come and check you out? Yeah, I was thinking about it last night, of blowing up the White House. Well, she should be locked up. People get away with things like that. You got a freedom of speech, but man, that's got to be monitored here. Maybe she's unstable. Megyn Kelly, by the way, remember her? She had all the fame and fortune seemingly on Fox, and then she went over to NBC, and then her show backfired on her on night with bad ratings. So they decided, well, we're going to give you another show. Politico broke this story this morning, by the way. So she's got a new show, new deal. It's going to